And C. Edmund Wright is on the line with us. He is a conservative commentator, contributor to Breitbart and American Thinker, author of WTF, How Karl Rove and the Establishment Lost Again. His website, C. Edmund Wright, WRIGHT.com. May I speak to you informally, and if so, how should I do so, sir?
Is Edmund informal enough?
Edmund is fine. I didn't know. Some people would say C or, Ed or Edmund. Okay, Edmund, thanks for joining. You've been on the show enough times. I feel like I should call you by your first name. And
you should, you should. And it's Edmund with a U, which I don't know why everyone wants to put an O in it. Almost no one who has the name puts an O in it, but everyone else does.
Yeah, and so
important.
It is important if you're trying to get to the website of cedmundwright.com or the Twitter feed of @cedmundwright. Yeah. So the topic that Sean put down on my one sheet here is that a conservative defends the 1%.
Well, I don't know that I would. I don't know that I would say that's what I'm doing, because a lot of those 1%. I mean,
Are you one of the 1%? If you don't mind my asking.
Pardon me. Say again, Tom.
Are you? And feel free to say it's none of my business, and I won't push any farther. But are you Are you part of the 1%?
No, actually, a couple years ago I was pretty close, but no, I've actually moved further away from that now, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, the same is true of me, and although I'm sure I'm probably in the top 5%, but it's why would anybody who is not in the 1% be out there defending the 1% when we've got the 1% own more wealth than the bottom half of America? I mean, yes. First of all, I would never defend the 1% per se, but what I would do is, first of all, I would cut the 1% out and say, on the one hand, you got, say, Steve Jobs and the people at Microsoft, and so on, the CEO of Walmart. And their producers, and fine, that's 1%. They earned their way. On the other hand, wait a minute. Wait,
can I make one more point?
You may, but I want to come back to that because I don't think that most of these people earned their way. But go for it.
Well, and the other side of that is, I would say that the 1% of the people who took all the money and bankrupted Solyndra, that's a totally different deal. So I would say I would attack that second group. At the drop of a hat, and have so how you become.
So you're opposed to Jamie to all the people that took the government bailouts, Jamie Dimon, all the big banks, all this stuff.
All
these Wall Street billionaires.
Big problem.
Yeah. Okay. I think we have a consensus on that. But back to we were telling the old Pete Seeger story a couple of days ago about a fly who laid a couple of eggs and they got caught by the wind, and one landed on a dusty street and the other landed on a dead cat. And they hatched into maggots, and a week or so later, the maggot that was on the dusty street is just kind of struggling to get by, and he runs into this fat, happy maggot who'd landed on the dead cat and says, boy, how'd you get so strong and healthy? And the maggot who had landed on the dead cat, whose egg had landed on the dead cat, says, hard work and perseverance, young man. And
the thing is,
you
could torture that analogy to bring it full. I mean, did Steve Jobs land on the dead cat, or did he actually go change?
He landed on the dead cat. He was the product of an upper middle class family. Had Steve Jobs grown up in Watts, he would not have even had a garage with his home. He wouldn't have had the educational opportunities. He wouldn't have had the family opportunities. He wouldn't have had.
He flunked out of college as a freshman. He didn't have any great educational opportunities.
He didn't flunk out. He dropped out, and he had he had the ability to have access to the equipment that he did because of his parents' income. Because his parents were probably in the top 5%.
I understand that.
And the same is true of Bill Gates. I've talked to Bill Gates' father, or actually his writing partner, Chuck Collins, and Bill Gates grew up in a fairly wealthy family. I mean, these guys, this idea that anybody can make it. I mean, you occasionally somebody rises up out of the slums, but Calcutta and Bombay, the slums of Calcutta and Bombay, are probably not going to produce the next Einstein or the next Steve Jobs, for that matter. And beyond that, I would say, Steve Jobs, he's engaged in a lot of illegal behavior that's now coming to light. These various tech companies conspiring with each other not to hire each other's employees and thus drive up the cost of labor. The patent and copyright laws. Steve Jobs basically got the idea from it was the Star operating system. What company was that? Hewlett-Packard, was it? Or it was one of the other companies. And that was actually an operating system that had been developed by the U.S. government. I mean, it's and Bill Gates is probably the biggest welfare queen in America. If it wasn't for the copyright and trademark laws, I'm not buying it. This is not hard work and perseverance. And there's nobody in this country who's working so hard that they're worth $2 billion a year. And yet you've got a dozen people on Wall Street who made that last year, each one of them.
Well, and again, I would say that Wall Street hasn't been free enterprise in many years. Wall Street is not where I would go to defend the 1%, because Wall Street is very much a crony industry more than it is a free enterprise.
But almost without exception, the 1% are coming out of industries that have engaged in regulatory capture.
Okay, let's talk. Can we go down to maybe 2-3%? Because I think when you get down there, you capture a lot of guys who started home building companies and landscape companies.
I got no problem with the top 3%. People who are making over, what is that, $250,000, $300,000 a year, something like that.
Yeah, that's probably about where that comes in, and so. Okay, maybe the 1% or certainly the 1/10 of 1%. Yeah, that's a different deal, and there's a lot of there's some success stories there, but there's a lot of crony connections there.
And there's a lot of Koch brothers inheriting money from their father who made his fortune with Joe Stalin. I mean, it's like which is a kind of strange story. Although apparently it informed his helping start the John Birch Society. I mean, maybe there's a high integrity story there. Who knows? But it's still, these people who were born on what's the old joke that Ann Richards made about George?
Base,
born on third base and thought he hit a triple.
Yeah.
I think Americans increasingly are.
I would go back, Tom. I would want to know who hit the first single and the first double and the first triple that allowed the people to be born on third base. So, I would be more interested in the story of the generation that got to third base.
Well, or how about having a society where that actually we're talking not about third base, we're talking about 3,000th base. I mean, is it right that the Walton heirs in aggregate would be the richest person on earth, these 5 people, and that their wealth is added to the tunes of hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars a year, by a business practice that causes all of us to pay welfare up to the tune of about $1 million per Walmart store?
I don't know that it causes that. By the way, I'm not a huge fan of Walmart, and they give more money to Democrats and Republicans now, and they know who their shopper base is, and they know what they need to do. But I would say this, the Waltons created a lot of millionaires from dirt poor people.
No, Sam did. But when Sam left and they started importing stuff from China, when Sam died, they've made a lot of billionaires in China.
But store managers and stuff, too, with stock options. So.
Okay. See Edmund Wright. Hang on just a second.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
SeeEdmundWright.com is the website, spelled with a U and a W. And thank you, sir. Good to talk with you, Edmund.